Hey coin hunters and accidental millionaires, welcome back to the channel where pockets turn into treasure chests and couch cushions become the new gold mines. Now listen closely because today's story might just make you dig through every jar of pennies you own. We're talking about the legendary and now incredibly valuable 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yup, that's right, this little copper coin that probably bought you a single sour candy back in the day is now worth a whopping $1.1 million in today's collector market. Let me repeat that in case you dropped your drink, $1,100,000 for a penny. I mean, who knew Abe Lincoln was holding out on us this whole time? So buckle up because we're diving into what makes this coin so special, how to spot it, and yeah, I've got a funny story about how I almost tossed one away like it was just lunch money. Spoiler alert, my wife still hasn't let me live that one down. So first things first, let's talk about what makes this 1988 penny different from the thousands or maybe millions of others that were minted in the same year. Now, most 1988 pennies will have a mint mark, either a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but the one we're after has nothing at all, just Abe Lincoln on the front and not a single mint mark in sight, and it's that absence that makes all the difference. Now, before we go tossing every 1988 penny into a pile and start shouting, "We're rich," let's pump the brakes a little. Not every 1988 no mint mark penny is going to make you a millionaire. The key is in the details, and trust me, those details matter more than your grandma's secret cookie recipe. That's the back of the coin. For all my beginner collectors weary looking for a reverse design that was actually meant for a different coin, yeah, you heard that right, this particular $1 million penny was struck using the wrong reverse die, and that little oopsie from the mint makes it super rare. You see, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth serious cash has a reverse design that was actually supposed to be used on the 1989 penny. Yep, it's like a time-traveled. Collectors call this the 1988 transitional reverse error, and it's a beauty if you know what you're looking for. Let's zoom in on Abe's shoulder. No, I'm not joking. Look right at the FG initials, which stand for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse. On the valuable version, the initials are crisp, clean, and far away from the base of the memorial. That's how you know you've got the reverse intended. For 1989 on the regular 1988 penny, those initials are closer and a bit more chunky. Sounds weird, but trust me, coin collectors love this nerdy stuff. Now here's where it gets wild. Only a small number of these transitional errors made it out into circulation. We're talking limited edition, rare, like spotting a unicorn in the parking lot of your local grocery store. Rare. Most people who have one don't even know it. It's probably rattling around in someone's glove compartment or lost under a sofa cushion, and every year the price keeps climbing because collectors are getting more and more obsessed with it. Now let me tell you a little story about how I almost threw one away. Picture this, it's 2014. I'm cleaning out an old junk drawer, you know, the one filled with expired batteries, broken pens, and more paper clips than any human needs. I find this old dusty cup of pennies, and being the responsible adult I am, I almost dumped it straight into the Coinstar machine at the grocery store, but something told me to check. Then maybe it was instinct, maybe it was the ghost of Abe Lincoln himself, but I sat down and started looking through them one by one, and there it was, a shiny little 1988 no mint mark penny. Now back then I had no idea what I was looking at, I just knew it looked different, so I did what any coin rookie would do, I googled it. Next thing I know, I'm on a coin forum reading people argue like it's a courtroom drama about FG spacing and reverse. DC sent mine in to get graded, and bam, MS67 transitional reverse. I didn't hit the $1 million jackpot, but it still sold for several thousand, enough to pay off a few bills and finally buy that ridiculous barbecue smoker I'd been eyeing for years. But every time I tell this story, someone says, "Man, why didn't you keep it till it hit $1 million?" And I say, because my wife saw the money and immediately started eyeing a new washer-dryer combo. So yeah, word of advice, if you find one, hide it quick. Now let's get into the grading stuff real quick, because condition is everything. You can have the rarest coin in the world, but if it looks like it's been chewed by a lawnmower, good luck getting top dollar. The 1988 no mint mark transitional reverse penny that sold for over $1 million was graded at MS68. That's near perfect, no scratches, no wear, like it rolled straight off the mint floor and landed in a velvet pillow. So if you think you've got one, don't just toss it in a drawer, get it looked at. Use a coin microscope to check those FG initials and then send it in to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yeah, it costs a little bit, but hey, if it comes back clean, you could be sitting on your retirement fund. Alright, by now you're probably wondering, what if I don't have a 1988 penny? Should I just give up? That's the best part about coin collecting. It's like treasure hunting in history class. Had a baby, you never know what's going to show up in your change. Start checking your pocket change. Ask your grandparents if they've got old jars of coins. Heck, go to garage sales and estate sales and dig through boxes. People toss valuable coins all the time without knowing it, and if you want to get deep into this world, join a coin club or online community. There's nothing better than finding someone else who gets just as excited about a penny as you do. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny might look like just another coin, but if you've got the rare transitional reverse version, you could be holding a piece of American minting history worth over $1.1 million. So next time you get a handful of change. Don't be so quick to spend it, take a second to look, you might be richer than you think. And hey, if you learned something new today or you're now inspired to flip your couch cushions inside out, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on spotting coins worth real money. We're dropping videos every week and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just got excited by the idea of turning pocket change into a fortune, this is the place to be. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin or think you might have one. Hey there fellow coin hunters and penny pinchers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into treasure maps. Now let me hit you with a question real quick. What if I told you that the next time you grab a handful of pennies from that dusty jar sitting on your dresser, you might be holding onto a 1968 D mint mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? Yes, you heard that right, $1.2 million. With an M. That's not just gas money, that's buy your dream car, pay off your house, take your grandma on a world cruise kind of money. Now before you start flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, hang on, because we're diving deep into why this particular coin is so special, what to look for, how to tell if you've hit the jackpot, and yep, I've got a little personal story that'll show you how close I came to losing one of the most valuable coins I've ever found. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's talk about the $1 million penny that might just be hiding in plain sight. Alright, so let's break this down. The 1968 D penny is your classic copper Lincoln cent with the familiar profile of Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, minted in Denver, hence the little d under the date. Now here's the kicker, over 2 billion of these bad boys were minted. That's right, billion. So what in the world makes one worth over $1 million? I mean, that's like finding a golden needle in a mountain-sized haystack. But don't worry, we're going to make you a needle-finding expert by the end of this video. First thing you need to know is not all 1968 D pennies are valuable. In fact, most of them are worth face value, a whopping 1 cent, but there are some super rare ones that are literally worth their weight in gold, and then some. So what makes those few coins so dang valuable? It all comes down to rare errors and pristine condition. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, coins struck on the wrong planchets, and of course full red brilliant uncirculated coins in MS67 or higher condition. Yeah, I know that sounded like a lot of technical mumbo jumbo, but stick with me. Imagine seeing two Lincolns staring at you from your penny. Not creepy, just valuable. A double die error means the coin's design was struck twice, slightly off, creating a ghost-like doubling, especially on the date or the word liberty. Now imagine finding a penny that's the size of a dime, or maybe it looks silvery instead of copper. That could mean it was struck on the wrong metal, and these are some of the rarest, most valuable types ever found. One 1968 D penny struck on a silver dime planchet was auctioned for over 6 figures. That's like accidentally printing a golden ticket. And let's not forget about condition. A 1968 D penny in mint state condition with that beautiful original red luster that looks like it was just minted today can fetch thousands, and if it combines with a rare error, well, hello, $1 million payday. Okay, story time. So about 5 years ago, I was sorting through a big bag of wheat pennies and some newer ones for a garage sale flip when I spotted a 1968 D penny that looked like it had doubled letters on the date. I squinted at it like an old man watching Netflix on a flip phone and thought it probably just damage. I tossed it in the reject pile and moved on. A week later, I was talking to a buddy who collects error coins. He asks me if I've ever come across a 1968 D double die. He pulls out his phone, shows me one listed online for over $100,000 in a lower grade. My stomach hit the floor like I just dropped a Thanksgiving plate. I sprinted home like it was the last day of Taco Tuesday and thanked the coin gods I hadn't thrown the pile away. Sure enough, I found that same coin, got it graded, and boom, it came back with an MS65 grade and a verified double die. Did it hit $1 million? Nah, but I did end up selling it for close to $20,000, which still made my year. Moral of the story, don't sleep on your spare change. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, so how do I find one of these magical 1968 D $1 million pennies? Step 1, grab every 1968 D penny you can get your hands on from pocket change, garage sales, coin rolls, whatever. Step 2, look for doubling on the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. If you see even a hint of shadow doubling, you might have something special. Step 3, check the color. If it's bright red and shiny with no visible wear, you could be looking at a mint state coin, which is gold in the grading world. Step 4, if you're suspicious or just really hopeful, take it to a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm if you've struck copper gold. Also invest in a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, not the cheap kind from the dollar store. I'm talking the kind that makes your eyeballs look like you're in an old cartoon. Listen, I get it, coin collecting might not sound sexy, but let me tell you, it's like treasure hunting for adults. There's something crazy satisfying about finding something rare hiding in plain sight, and every coin has a story. Every scratch, every shimmer, every misprint tells a tale from American history, and when one of those stories ends in $1 million payoff, well, that's a plot twist worth chasing. The 1968 D Lincoln penny may seem like just another copper coin, but a few of these little guys are worth a fortune thanks to rare errors. In near perfect condition, you could be holding onto a coin worth more than your car or even your house and not even know It's so the next time you get change back at the grocery store, take a second glance. You never know when that 1 cent could be your $1 million miracle. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1968 D penny and you want more tips on coins worth serious cash, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and ding that notification bell like it owes you money. We've got more treasure to uncover, more stories to share, and maybe, just maybe, the next video will help you find the coin that changes your life. Hey there, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and random YouTube scrollers who clicked this video because you thought, hold up, did that just say a 2017 penny is worth $1.3 million? Well, guess what, you read that right, and today we're gonna dive headfirst into the strange, awesome, and surprisingly profitable world of the 2017 D mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now I know what you're thinking. 2017, that was like 5 minutes ago. I probably have one of those pennies in my couch cushions right now, and that's exactly the point. That's why this episode is gonna blow your socks off and maybe even inspire a mad dash to every coin jar and laundry machine you've got in your house. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what makes this penny so special, how to spot it, and how you might just stumble on one that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. I'll even share a wild little story about the time I almost spent a rare penny on a vending machine snack. Yeah, that happened. Alright, first things first, let's set the scene. The year is 2017. Fidget spinners are everywhere. Everyone's arguing about the color of a dress again, and Marvel is basically printing money. But quietly behind the scenes in Denver, Colorado, the US Mint is doing what it always does, making coins by the boatload. Among these is the humble Abraham Lincoln penny, just your average copper-plated zinc coin, right? Nothing special about it except, oh, I don't know, the fact that one of these is now worth a whopping $1.3 million. Now, before you go flipping every 2017 penny you see, let's break down why this particular coin is so dang valuable. Now, don't get me wrong, most 2017 D pennies are worth 1 cent, maybe 2 if you're feeling lucky, but one specific variety, and we're talking rare as a unicorn at a garage sale, has a minting error so unique that collectors are shelling out 6 and 7 figures to get their hands on it. So what's the error? It's a double die outburst. Sounds fancy, right? It basically means that during minting, the image on the front of the coin, Abe Lincoln's handsome face, was accidentally stamped twice but slightly off. So when you look at the coin, especially under a magnifying glass, you'll see a doubling in his face or the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. This isn't just a minor glitch, this is the kind of mistake that makes collectors drool like a dog in a bacon factory. Now, what sets the $1 million one apart is the condition. It's not just any double die 2017 D penny. This baby was in almost perfect uncirculated condition, professionally graded and slabbed up in minty freshness. It's what the pros call MS69 red. That's 1 point away from perfection, and when it sold it broke records and probably a few hearts of folks who spent theirs on gas station gum. Now let me tell you a little story about how I almost made a very dumb financial decision. Picture this: I'm at work digging through my desk drawer looking for loose change because I'm craving one of those sketchy vending machine honey buns, you know, the ones that taste like regret and sugar. I grab a handful of pennies and head over. As I'm jamming coins into the slot, I notice one of them's a 2017 D penny, and it's got this weird doubling on the date. I literally freeze right there in front of the machine like I've seen a ghost, or worse, a spider with a tiny wallet. Long story short, I snatch it back, shove it in my pocket, and go hungry that day. But later I found out it wasn't the penny, not the $1.3 million one, but still worth around $150. Not too shabby for desk drawer treasure. Moral of the story: always check your change, folks. That snack can wait. Alright, let's get into the detective work, because now I know you're itching to go on a coin hunt. First, grab a magnifying glass, not one of those plastic ones from a cereal box. Either get a decent one or, even better, a USB microscope. You're gonna look at 3 main spots as they're clear doubling on the numbers, especially the 2 and the 7. Look closely at the B and E for doubling. If that T looks like it's got a shadow twin, you might be onto something. If you spot any of this, don't spend that penny. Don't throw it in a coin star. Don't flick it in a fountain wishing for good luck, because you just made your own luck. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Get it graded and authenticated. If it comes back MS69 with a double die adverse, buckle up, buddy, you're about to be rich. So let's talk turkey, or rather copper. The 2017 D penny with the rare error in pristine condition hit the auction block and went for, yep, $1.3 million. And here's the crazy part: some experts believe this number could go higher in the future as fewer pristine ones remain and more collectors enter the market. Coin values fluctuate like crypto without the stress headaches, so if you've got one, hang on to it or consider selling while the market's hot. Either way, that's a heck of a return on a single cent investment. We've just gone on a wild ride through penny history, minting mishaps and $1 million surprises. Who knew something so small could be so valuable? Go check your change jar, your piggy bank, your couch cushions, that old jeans pocket you haven't worn since 2017. Who knows, you might be sitting on your own little fortune. And if you liked this video, if you learned something new, or if you're now slightly obsessed with pennies, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and ring that notification bell so you Never miss a chance to turn spare change into serious cash. We've got tons more videos coming up, from coins worth thousands to sneaky errors hiding in plain sight, and you don't want to miss a thing. Hey coin collectors and casual change checkers, welcome back to the channel where pockets get interesting and pennies might just pay for your dream vacation. Now let me ask you something, have you ever dropped a penny on the ground and thought it's just a penny? Well, guess what, that little copper coin you just dismissed could be worth more than a Lamborghini, a fancy condo, and a year of takeout combined. Today we're diving into a juicy copper tale, the story of the 1980 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.4 million for a penny. That's the kind of coin news that'll make you check under your couch cushions tonight. So grab your coin jars, your old piggy banks, or raid grandma's junk drawer and stick around, because by the end of this video you might just discover you're a millionaire in disguise. See, most pennies, especially in the US, are minted in one of three places: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Now Denver pennies have a little D on them. San Francisco ones usually have an S, but the ones made in Philly, well, those often have no mint mark at all, not a zip-zilch. So when you see a penny without a mint mark, it most likely came from Philly. But here's where it gets spicy. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just any old Philly penny. Nope, this bad boy is a rare unicorn in the world of numismatics. That's fancy talk for coin collecting, by the way, and it's worth up to $1.4 million if it's the right type and in the right condition. Now, before you go flipping through your coin stash yelling to your dog that you're rich, let's talk about what actually makes this penny worth so much. Back in 1980, a few pennies were accidentally minted with some mistakes, not the kind you make when you forget to send a birthday card to your mom. Worse than that, these pennies were struck with incredibly rare die errors, meaning they were stamped wrong or had imperfections during the minting process. One common valuable error in this batch is a doubled die. You might notice Lincoln's face or the words "In God We Trust" look all fuzzy or doubled. That's money right there. A beat-up penny that's been to the car wash and back probably isn't going to make you rich, but one in pristine condition with what collectors call MS-67 red, basically a penny that looks like it just came out of the vending machine, well, that's where the money magic happens. A nearly perfect 1980 no mint mark penny can rake in big bucks in one. Recently sold for over $1 million. Think of it like this: imagine a rare baseball card, only a few were ever made, and now everyone wants one. That's the situation here. The 1980 no mint mark penny with specific errors is super rare and collectors are practically drooling over it. Okay, so let me tell you a little story I like to call the time I almost threw away a fortune. A couple of years ago I was at my uncle's house, you know, the one with the garage full of future projects and a coin jar that weighs more than a toddler. I was bored, so I started going through his penny jar thinking maybe I'll find a wheat penny or something cool. So there I am sitting cross-legged on his garage floor surrounded by spiders and old lawnmower parts when I pick up this shiny 1980 penny. At first I'm like meh, but then something felt different about it. The letters looked a little off, like Lincoln had a shadow clone or something. I stuck it in my pocket and took it home. Fast forward a week, I showed it to a coin expert, thinking maybe it was worth like $5. You know what he said? He goes, "Dude, this could be a double no mint mark 1980 penny. You might be sitting on a small fortune." Now, spoiler alert, it wasn't the $1 million one, it was worth a few hundred, but still I've never looked at pennies the same way since. So here's the lesson: never underestimate a penny, especially one from 1980. Tips for checking your 1980 no mint mark penny: grab a magnifying glass or even just zoom in with your phone camera. Look closely at the date and lettering. Check for any doubling, especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. Also check the overall condition: no deep scratches, no green gunk, and preferably no chew marks from your dog. If it looks promising, get it appraised, take it to a professional or send it in to a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you what you really have. Okay, here's the juicy part: a regular 1980 no mint mark penny in circulated condition might still just be worth face value, but a flawless one with the right error recently fetched $1.4 million at auction. That's the coin collector's dream, folks. Imagine turning 1 cent into $1 million payday. That's like buying one French fry and getting the whole McDonald's franchise. So there you have it, folks. The humble 1980 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might look like a regular coin, but if you've got the right one in your stash, you might just be holding a fortune. Remember, coin collecting isn't just for old guys with magnifying glasses and sock suspenders. It's for anyone who's ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, I wonder if this is worth something. And if you want more stories like this, more wild facts about coins worth ridiculous amounts of money, and real tips that could help you turn spare change into treasure, then hit that subscribe button, smash it like you're flattening a soda can with $1 million penny. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a weird coin, or if you're running to your jar right now to look for that magic 1980 penny. I want to hear your stories, and remember, the next time someone says it's just a penny, you can smile and think, yeah, but maybe it's 1.4 million pennies. You ever toss a penny into the junk drawer because it's just 1 cent and you thought, meh, not even worth bending over to pick up? Well, hold on to your butts, because that dusty little copper coin you just ignored might be worth more than your car. Yeah, you heard me right. We're talking about a regular OL 2000 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth up to 1.5 million bucks. This ain't a prank, it's not clickbait, and no, I'm not trying to sell you magic beans. This is the real deal. And in the next 40 minutes, we're diving deep into why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what makes it so incredibly rare. Oh, and I'll share a totally embarrassing but true story about how I once unknowingly spent a coin that could have changed my life. You don't want to miss that. So grab a snack, maybe your coin jar, and let's hunt for treasure hiding in plain sight. Let's rewind to the year 2000. Y2K fears had just fizzled out, Destiny's Child was ruling the airwaves, and pocket change still felt like it could buy you something other than parking meter time. Enter the Lincoln penny. The 2000 penny was business as usual, copper-plated zinc, weighing in at 2.5 grams, and featuring our boy Honest Abe. Normally, you'd find a D4 Denver or a P4 Philly stamped under the year. But then, some got minted without any mint mark at all. Mint marks get missed sometimes, right? Sure, that happens. But this one is different. The 2000 no mint mark penny has a few quirks that collectors absolutely lose their minds over. One word, rarity. These weren't just oopsie coins, they were part of a batch with some very specific minting issues that make them extremely scarce. And collectors? Oh, collectors are like sharks in a pool full of penny-sized steaks. When they sniff rare, they go wild. First off, it's about condition. We're talking mint state 68 or better. That's like the coin version of a flawless diamond. No scratches, no wear, just pure, uncirculated glory. If your penny looks like it got run over by a shopping cart, it's probably not the $1 million one. But hey, don't toss it yet. Even lower grades of this penny can go for hundreds or thousands. Secondly, it's about demand. Collectors love coins that aren't supposed to exist. It's like the forbidden fruit of numismatics. You give people a coin that's rare, historically off-kilter, and shiny? Boom. Bidding war. Also, plot twist, a few of these 2000 pennies are struck on the wrong metal. Some ended up on leftover blanks from earlier years or foreign coins. Imagine finding a penny that weighs weird or sounds different when you drop it. That could be the jackpot. And the most important part, authentication. If you find what you think is the rare penny, don't go running into traffic just yet. You've got to get it authenticated by a pro, like PCGS or NGC. No one's handing over 7 figures without that certified stamp of approval, the penny that got away. So here's the painful part of this video. I gotta confess something. Back in 2014, I was broke. Like, broke. Living off gas station burritos and ramen. One day I was at a coin shop just browsing, not buying, obviously, cause again, broke, and I pulled a handful of change from my hoodie pocket. The guy behind the counter looks at one of my pennies, squints at it, then says, "Hey, you mind if I keep this one?" I'm like, "Sure, it's just a penny." Knock yourself out. Fast forward 5 years. I'm watching a coin auction on TV and no lie, I see that same penny. I remember it because I had scratched it playing with my keys, and the scratch was identical. It sold $4.850000. Always check your change. Or at least Google it before you hand it over to a coin nerd named Carl. How you can spot the $1.5 million penny no mint mark under the year 2000. Clean. No D, no P. Strong strike with clear details on Lincoln's beard and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Unusual weight, should be about 2.5 grams, but if it's heavier or lighter, that's worth investigating. Use a magnifier. You don't need one from NASA, just a basic 10x jeweler's loop works great, and once you think you've found something special, get it graded. That could be the best $50 you ever spend. So, let's say you're rummaging through an old piggy bank and bam, there it is. A beautiful, 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny that looks pristine. What now? Do not clean it. Seriously. Not with soap, not with toothpaste, not even with unicorn tears. Cleaning kills value. You can decide, sell it at auction, keep it as an investment, or flex on your friends by taping it to your forehead. Totally your call. So next time someone tells you pennies are useless, just smile. Because while they're tossing theirs in the tip jar, you might just have the one that buys your dream house, pays off your debt, and still leaves you with enough left over to buy all the gas station burritos your heart desires. Treasure is often hiding in plain sight. And sometimes, it's worth $1.50 million. If you like this video and want more crazy coin stories, insider tips, and laugh out loud numismatic nuggets, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on the next $1 million coin, and drop a comment if you've ever had a coin collector heartbreak story like mine. Hey there treasure hunters and penny pinchers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paydays and your junk drawer into a jackpot. If you've ever bent over to pick up a penny and felt a little silly about it, well, don't, because that tiny coin might just be your ticket to a fortune. So here's the hook. Imagine you're walking out of a gas station, coffee in one hand, burrito in the other, and you spot a penny on the ground. It's a little beat up, got no mint mark, and it says 1985. You think just a regular old penny, right? Wrong. That plain looking coin could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.6 million for a coin you'd normally ignore unless you were trying to break a dollar. Stick around, because today we're diving deep into the story, the secrets, and the staggering value behind the 1985 no mint mark Lincoln penny. We're talking what makes it rare, how to spot one, where to find it, and how to make sure you're not missing out on a six-figure sleeper hiding in your couch cushions. Grab a drink, get comfy, and let's talk about one of the hottest pennies in the collector world. The 1985 Lincoln penny was part of the Memorial Reverse series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. These are the ones where Abe is sitting on the front doing his serious presidential thing and the Lincoln Memorial is chillin' on the back. Now here's the kicker. Most of the 1985 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but here's what makes the no mint mark Philly pennies interesting. Unlike Denver or San Francisco coins, Philly didn't always stamp its coins with a mint mark. So if you see a 1985 penny with no letter under the date, it was most likely made in Philly, and most of them are totally normal, worth exactly 1 cent. And this is a big shiny, but there are a few rare unicorns out there among the millions of regular pennies. The $1.6 million no mint mark 1985 penny isn't just any penny, it's a flawless coin with a perfect strike. Super high grade, and maybe, just maybe, it has a mint error or some funky rarity that sets it apart. A few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his old garage. The place looked like a time capsule from the 80s. There were cassette tapes, mullet wigs, even a dusty poster of Hulk Hogan. Anyway, I found this old coffee can filled with coins, mostly junk, but I kid you not, I found a 1985 penny in there. I almost tossed it out, but something told me to hang on to it. Later I checked it under a magnifying glass, and while it wasn't the $1 million baby, it had a weird die crack and got graded for a few $100. Not bad for a coin I almost threw in the tip jar. Well, coin grading is everything, folks. Coins are rated from 1 to 70 on the Sheldon scale. A grade of MS68 or higher is extremely rare. If your 1985 penny is uncirculated with no scratches, fingerprints, or dog chews, then you might be sitting on gold. Okay, not literally, but maybe a stack of cash collectors' love errors. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, planchet errors, and other oddities that make a coin one of a kind. The rarer and weirder it is, the higher the demand. In 1985 no mint mark penny with the right kind of error in pristine condition, that's the recipe for 6 or even 7 figures. You might be wondering, okay, cool, but where do I find one of these? Well, good news, go raid the couch cushions, the glove box, the coin jar you've been ignoring since 2002. Garage sales and estate sales. I once bought a shoebox of coins for $10 at a garage sale and flipped a single penny from that box for over 100 coin rolls from the bank. Ask for a few rolls of pennies and hunt away. I call it rollin'. For Rich's family coin collections, ask Grandma. If you can look through Grandpa's old coin stash, you might find more than just a story about the Great Depression. The current market value for that top grade 1985 no mint mark Lincoln penny is sitting pretty at $1.6 million. That's more than most people make in a decade, more than a house in most cities, more than 1.6 million items at the dollar store. If you feel like living that kind of life, and this isn't just hype, a coin like that was sold at auction for close to that price due to its rarity, condition, and collector demand. These sales happen quietly through private auctions or through big houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbauers. So if you think you have a 1985 no mint mark penny in beautiful shape, stop what you're doing and get that thing checked out. Send it to PCGS or NGC, the top grading services. They'll let you know if you've hit the coin jackpot. Also, here's a little trick to see if your penny might be worth more than face value. Grab a magnifying glass, check for doubling around the date and letters, feel the edges. If it's razor sharp, it may be uncirculated. Compare the color. A shiny red luster is usually a good sign, and weigh it. If it's a bit heavier than normal, it might have been struck on a leftover copper planchet. Even if you don't find the $1.6 million coin, hunting coins is one of the coolest hobbies around. It's like being a treasure hunter minus the pirates and eye patches, unless you want to wear one, in which case go wild. Also, it's a fun way to bond with family. My nephew thinks I'm the Indiana Jones of coins now, all because I showed him how to spot errors and flip a coin for profit. First, never ignore a penny, especially one from 1985 without a mint mark. Second, condition is king and errors are the crown. Third, the jar of coins on your dresser might be worth more than you think. And lastly, coin collecting isn't just about value, it's about curiosity, history, and a whole lot of fun. Now here's my challenge to you: go find 10 1985 pennies this week, check them out, look for those sweet signs of value, and who knows, maybe one of you will come back to this video with a story that starts with "I thought it was just a penny." If you enjoyed this deep dive into penny profit potential, do me a favor, smash that like button gently like it's a proof coin you're submitting to PCGS. Subscribe if you want more coin tips, tricks, and $1,000,000 finds. We've got videos coming on nickels worth more than your car quarters that could buy you a vacation, and dimes that make dollars look cheap. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters, let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, well, that's just 1 cent closer to retirement? No? Just me? Cool. But here's the thing: what if I told you that a single penny, yes 1 cent, from 1969 with a little D mint mark could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million today? Yeah, I said it. Not $1.70. Not even $170. A whopping $1.7 million bucks. That's more than a Lamborghini, a year of groceries in 2025, and a lifetime supply of socks, all rolled into one tiny copper coin. So if you've got a piggy bank, a junk drawer, or a box of old change in the garage that you've been ignoring, this might be the best time to go hunting. Because you might be sitting on a retirement plan, and all this time, it was disguised as pocket lint. Stick with me, because in today's video, we're going deep into the 1969 D Lincoln penny, what makes it valuable, what to look for, how to spot the $1 million versions, and yes, I'm even gonna tell you about the time I almost gave away a valuable coin with a pizza order. Spoiler alert, I'm still mad about it. I mean, it looks just like every other penny, right? Lincoln's still giving us that side eye, the words "In God We Trust" are still chillin' up top, and the memorial building on the back still looks like it could use a pressure wash. Of them, and I mean very few, have what collectors call errors or varieties that make them super rare. And rare equals money. Lots of it. The one that collectors go absolutely bananas over is the 1969 D double die obverse. Yeah, that's a mouthful. Basically, it means that during the minting process, the die that stamped the front of the coin shifted a little bit, so you end up with letters and numbers that look like they had too much coffee and jittered themselves into doubling. And the best part? If your penny has this doubling and it's in great condition, we're talking sharp details, little to no wear, that little copper disc could fetch you up to $1.7 million. No kidding. Alright, now you might be wondering, what's with the D? That mint mark stands for Denver, where the coin was produced. The 1969 D pennies were minted in huge numbers, over 4 billion of them, but only a microscopic number have this doubling error, which makes them unicorn-level rare. But here's the kicker: most doubled die coins from 1969 are from the Philadelphia Mint. They don't have a mint mark at all. So when a Denver Mint version was found with doubling, that's when collectors collectively lost their minds. It's kinda like finding out your grandma's antique lamp is actually a rare prototype designed by Picasso. That kind of mind-blowing. Let me take you back a few years. I had just ordered a meat lover's pizza because I was feeling particularly carnivorous that day, and when the delivery guy showed up, I didn't have change. I grabbed a couple bucks and some coins from the kitchen counter and handed them over with a big smile and a "keep the change." A week later, I'm cleaning up and come across a little note I had written to myself: check 1969 D penny for doubling. Yeah. You know where this is going. I gave away a possibly rare 1969 D penny with a pizza. To this day, I still wonder if that delivery guy cashed it in or tossed it in a jar. If he's on a beach in Hawaii right now sipping coconut juice, you're welcome, bro. Let's talk strategy, my fellow treasure hunters. If you want to find a 1969 D penny worth money, here's what you should look for. These are the most obvious spots where doubling happens. You ought to see thick, shadowy letters like Lincoln's words are echoing. The 1969 itself should also have noticeable doubling, especially the 9s. The better the shape, the better the value. Mint state or uncirculated? That's the golden ticket. I suggest using a jeweler's loupe or a decent magnifying glass. Or, if you want to feel like Indiana Jones, one of those little eye loupes that make you look like you're about to defuse a bomb. One verified example of the 1969 D double die penny sold at auction for $1.7 million. And yes, it was in pristine condition, MS65 red, for the grading nerds out there. That's like the Rolls-Royce of penny conditions. Even if yours isn't quite that perfect, lower grade versions with the doubling error can still pull in thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Not bad for something you might find under your couch cushions, right? Get coin rolls, search through them, and return the rest. It's called coin roll hunting, and it's low-key addictive. Estate sales and garage sales. People sell old coin jars without realizing they might be sitting on a goldmine. Ask family members. Grandma's change drawer might have more than just dusty nickels. Don't go spending hours a day if you're not enjoying it, but if you like the thrill of the hunt, this hobby could literally pay off big. Time.so Let's recap. A 1969 D penny that looks totally ordinary could actually be worth $1.7 million. All because of a rare minting error, and all it takes is a sharp eye, a little luck, and a lot of patience. Whether you're a coin collector, a change hoarder, or just someone who loves the idea of turning literal pennies into a fortune, this is one coin you have to be on the lookout for. Maybe, just maybe, you've already got one and didn't even know it. So what are you waiting for? Get out that coin jar, start looking through your stash, and let me know in the comments if you find anything interesting. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips coming your way on coins that could be worth real money, plus strategies on how to build your collection, spot rare errors, and avoid getting ripped off. Like, comment, and share this with a friend who always throws their change in a jar. They might be sitting on $1 million penny and not even know it. Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and people who just found a weird penny in their car cup holder and thought and wonder if this thing is worth more than a Starbucks coffee. You're about to hear a story that might just make you dig through your pocket change faster than a kid looking for candy in a couch, because today we're talking about a humble little coin, the 2006 D Lincoln penny that, believe it or not, is worth $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, 1.8 million American dollars for a penny. I know sounds crazy, but stick with me. This isn't some made-up fairy tale or late-night infomercial selling you a dream for 3 easy payments of $9.99. Nope, this is real, and today I'm breaking down how a regular or coppery coin could be your golden ticket. We're diving into how to spot one, what makes it so dang valuable, and a few funny stories along the way. So grab a drink, grab your coin jar, and maybe grab a magnifying glass, because we're going treasure hunting today. The 2006 D Lincoln penny is part of the long line of coins minted with President Abraham Lincoln's face on the front. Now, the D in this case doesn't stand for dang, this coin is expensive, although it totally should. It actually stands for Denver, which is where the coin was minted. Most 2006 D pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, maybe a couple more if they're in shiny condition and your grandma's feeling generous. There are a few rare versions of this penny that are so unique and weird that collectors lose their minds over them, and that's where the $1 million madness begins. Now imagine this: you're working at the Denver Mint and you're on your 3rd cup of coffee because it's been a long week. You load up a batch of blanks, the little copper discs that eventually become pennies, and you press go. Maybe it's zinc, maybe it's an old coin from a previous year, maybe it's a special experimental alloy no one was supposed to see. That's how error coins happen, and error coins are where the money is, baby. Collectors love mistakes because they're rare, they're unique, and they tell a cool story. The 2006 D penny we're talking about is one of those. It was struck on a foreign planchet that wasn't even meant to be a US coin, basically a total freak accident, and because of that one mistake, this little guy is now worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Now let's talk about how you can actually find one, because believe it or not, it could be hiding in plain sight. Does it feel lighter or heavier than normal? Does the color look slightly off? Does it have a different ring when you drop it on a table? One of the most famous 2006 D errors was struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin, and it weighs less than your typical penny, and some were double struck, meaning they got hit by the machine twice, so the design looks all warped, like Lincoln's having a bad day. Others might have off-center strikes or weird smudges or bubbles from bad metal mixing. All of that means possible big money. So a couple of years ago I was helping my uncle clean out his garage, right, and he hands me this dusty mason jar full of coins and says, "Here kid, go cash these in, I need gas money." Naturally, being the coin nerd I said, "Hold up, let me look through them first just in case," and boom, I found a 1992 close AM penny, not a 2006 D, but still worth hundreds. I called him up and said, "You might want to keep this jar in a vault somewhere." His reply, "That's cool, just give me $20 and a burger." Moral of the story: never underestimate the value of junk coins, and never clean out a garage without gloves. Section 5: what makes this coin so special to collectors? So what makes this coin different from the hundreds of other errors out there? It's all about rarity, condition, and the story. There are only a few confirmed examples of this 2006 D error, and even fewer in mint condition. The one that sold for $1.8 million was graded by a top grading company and had a perfect storm of error and quality, plus it came to auction at a time when collectors were hyped up and ready to throw money like confetti. These coins don't just pop up on eBay every day, they're hidden little treasures, and if you find one, you're basically winning the penny lottery. Section 6: tips for finding rare coins like this. So how do you boost your chances of finding $1 million penny? 1. Always check your change, like seriously, don't just toss it in a jar. 2. Hit up garage sales, flea markets, estate salespeople are always selling old coin jars without knowing what's inside. 3. Grab a decent magnifying glass, or even a jeweler's loupe. 4. Learn the weights of common coins. Most errors have a slightly different weight. 5. Get familiar with what errors look like. Study pictures online, compare with your own coins, and trust your instincts. And 6. If you think you found something, send it in for grading. The professionals can confirm if you hit the jackpot. Want to be the most interesting person at your next party? Just casually mention these. Did you know a single cent cost more than a cent to make in 2006? Yep, the metal used actually made them cost around 1.4 cents to produce, which means technically you're already holding a losing investment unless it's the magic $1 million one. Also, did you know some people hoard pennies for their copper value? Alright, my fellow coin crusaders, that wraps up our deep dive into the wild and wonderful world of the 2006 Lincoln penny. Who knew that a 1 cent coin from Denver could turn into a millionaire's dream? Right, if you've got a jar of coins at home, maybe it's time to give it a second look. Maybe, just maybe, your fortune's been sitting on top of the fridge next to that expired bottle of ranch dressing. Now, before you rush off to inspect every penny you've ever touched, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird coin or think you've got a $1 million penny hiding somewhere. And hey, if you want more stories about rare coins worth insane money, secret coin hunting tips, and some laughs along the way, you're in the right place. I'll be here every week bringing you more content that just might help you retire early thanks to a tiny piece of metal. Thanks for watching. Keep flipping those pennies, and may the next coin you find be worth a fortune. Hey coin fans and treasure hunters, have you ever held a penny in your hand and thought, hey, this little guy might just be worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving deep into one penny that might just make your jaw drop, the legendary 1977 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yeah, that tiny copper disc sitting in your pocket might be a $1 million superstar in disguise. Literally, we're talking a current market value of about $1.1 million. Crazy, right? So, stick around because I'm going to break down why this humble penny is such a rare gem, how to spot one, and a little story about the time I almost threw away a fortune in my own couch cushions. Spoiler alert, I didn't, but it was a close call. Alright, first things first, what makes the 1977 no-mint mark penny so special? If you're not a coin geek yet, let me explain. Most pennies have a little letter stamped on them to show where they were made, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But the 1977 no-mint mark penny? It's like the ninja of coins, silent, invisible, and rare. In fact, that missing mint mark is what makes it worth millions. Now, how does a coin from 1977 become worth $1.1 million? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. In the coin world, mistakes or oddities can make coins insanely valuable. For this penny, it's believed that the no-mint mark was a production anomaly, meaning fewer were made than usual. Less supply, plus crazy collector demand, equals big bucks. Think of it like the limited edition sneakers of the coin world, except instead of wearing them, you stare at them lovingly in a display case. If you want to spot one, here's what to look for. First, check the date, 1977. Next, look closely where the mint mark should be, just under the date. If it's missing, you've got a potential treasure. But beware, there are fakes and clean coins out there, so if you think you've got one, get it professionally graded. And no, your friend's kid who found it in the playground probably hasn't stumbled onto $1 million just yet. Now, let me share a little story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old couch. You know how couches are like little black holes that swallow up everything? Coins, buttons, old receipts, you name it. Well, I pulled out a handful of pennies and almost tossed them in the trash. But then I thought, wait a minute, what if one of these is a hidden gem? So I did a quick search and found out about rare pennies like the 1977 no-mint mark. I immediately stopped and carefully looked at each coin. Turns out, none of them were worth $1 million, but that moment taught me the value of looking twice before tossing something out, and that's why you should always keep an eye on your coins, even the ones that seem super ordinary. You never know when you might be holding a tiny fortune in your hand. So, to wrap things up, the 1977 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a fascinating little piece of history that could be worth a whopping $1.1 million. Its rarity, the story behind the missing mint mark, and the collector demand all make it a superstar in the coin world. If you happen to find one, congratulations, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. Or, well, a copper mine in this case. Before you run off to check your piggy bank or couch cushions, remember, always get your rare coins professionally authenticated, and never sell without knowing their true value. And hey, if you enjoyed this dive into the world of valuable pennies, hit that subscribe button for more tips, stories, and strategies about coins worth money. I've got tons more secrets to share that might just help you discover your own treasure. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep hunting, keep smiling, and who knows? Maybe your next penny will be the next $1,000,000 story. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into treasure hunts and empty jars into possible fortunes. You know that jar of old coins sitting in the back of your closet, the one you keep telling yourself you'll sort through one day? Well, today might be the day that jar makes you rich, because we're diving into the story of a humble little coin that's got collectors going absolutely wild. That's right, we're talking about the 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, a 1994 penny, 1 cent, the kind of coin you find under your couch cushions or stuck in your car's cup holder. But this one isn't just any old penny. This bad boy could be worth up to $12 million in today's collector market. So before you toss your change into a vending machine or donate it to that sad-looking tip jar at the coffee shop, stick around, because you might just be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. All right, let's get into it. First of all, what even is a no-mint mark penny? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. Most pennies have a tiny letter on them that tells you where they were minted: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and sometimes P for Philadelphia. But here's the twist: pennies minted in Philadelphia usually don't have any mint mark at all, which is totally normal. Most 1994 no-mint mark pennies are pretty ordinary. They were minted by the millions in Philadelphia and are only worth face value unless they're in pristine condition. But there are rare ones, and I mean rare, that have what we call die errors or striking issues, and that's when the magic happens. Some of these 1994 no-mint mark pennies were struck on the wrong type of planchet. That's the blank piece of metal before it becomes a coin. Others might have doubling errors, misalignments, or unusual coloring. And here's where it gets juicy: a perfectly preserved 1994 penny with one of these minting errors sold for a whopping $12 million at a private auction. Let me tell you a quick story. So a couple years ago, I was cleaning out my car. You know how it goes: fast food wrappers, receipts from 2011, enough pens to run a small office, and I found a bunch of coins in the center console. One of them looked a little weird, not rusty, just odd. It had no mint mark and had a strange sheen to it. So I did what every curious guy with a smartphone does: I googled it. Long story short, it wasn't the $1,000,000 one, but it turned out to be worth over $100 just because it had a slight doubling on Lincoln's ear, which made me realize these coins aren't just pocket fillers, they're potential gold mines. Now, if you're thinking you need a magnifying glass, gloves, and an Indiana Jones hat to go treasure hunting, let me stop you right there. All you need is decent eyesight, a little patience, and maybe a flashlight from your phone to really look at your change. So what should you look for if you've got a 1994 penny in your hand? First, check if it has no mint mark. That means it was likely minted in Philly, and that's our starting point. Then look closely at the details: Lincoln's ear, the date, the words "In God We Trust." Sometimes you'll notice doubling in the letters or digits, known as a double die error, and if it looks off or funky, don't throw it away, set it aside. You can even weigh it. A normal 1994 penny should weigh 25 grams. If it's off, that could mean it was struck on the wrong metal, which is a big red flag for collectors and a green flag for your bank account. Condition matters too. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition is always worth more than one that's been through 100 laundry cycles. So if you find one with that fresh coin shine, put it in a protective sleeve or even just wrap it in tissue and keep it safe. Now, if you really think you've hit the jackpot, take it to a professional appraiser or grading service. They'll tell you if you've got the rare one, and believe me, if you do, your life is about to get a whole lot shinier. And hey, even if you don't find the $1,000,000 penny, coin collecting is just plain fun. You start to notice history in your hand, states, designs, little changes from year to year. It's like time traveling with currency. Alright folks, to wrap this up, remember this: your next $1,000,000 might not be in stocks or crypto or a winning lottery ticket. It might just be jingling in your back pocket. So go check your change jars, your glove compartments, the bottom of your backpack. Who knows, maybe there's a 1994 no mint mark penny waiting to change your life. If you liked this video and you want more tips on coins that could be worth serious money, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you don't miss out, and share this with a friend who always complains about being broke. Maybe all they need is a little Lincoln luck. Hey folks, welcome back to the wild world of coins, where pocket change could literally change your life. Now, before you chuck that penny across the room or let it slip through your car's cup holder forever, let me ask you this: what if I told you that a regular looking penny from 2016 with no mint mark could be worth $13 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.3 million. That's more than most people's mortgages, student loans, and car payments combined. Today we're diving into the curious case of the 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why this innocent little coin is making collectors lose their minds. So grab your magnifying glass, your old coin jar, and maybe a snack, cause we're going deep into the world of $1 million pocket change. And yes, I'm going to tell you how to spot one of these rare beauties, what makes it valuable, and why it could be hiding in your house right now behind the couch next to a dusty Lego brick. The 2016 Abraham Lincoln penny looks like your Average everyday coin. It's made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, weighs 25 grams and features the classic Lincoln profile on the front with the words "In God We Trust, Liberty." In the year 2016, most modern coins have a little letter under the date that's the mint mark. It tells us where the coin was made: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But guess what? The 2016 penny we're talking about has no mint mark at all. That means it was minted in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: Philadelphia didn't start consistently using mint marks on pennies until 2017, so technically a 2016 Philadelphia penny with no mint mark isn't super rare. But there's a twist. What makes this 2016 no mint mark penny worth $13 million is an insane error, and a rare one at that. Now, if you're new to coin collecting or just accidentally fell asleep on a pile of coins and decided to Google one, welcome to the club. A double die is basically a mistake during the minting process where the coin design gets stamped more than once slightly off. This results in parts of the coin looking doubled: the letters, the numbers, sometimes even Lincoln's face looks like he tried to take a selfie while sneezing, and that right there is what makes collectors go bananas. A very limited batch of 2016 pennies with no mint mark had an extreme double die on the obverse. That's the front of the coin where Lincoln's face is. These pennies are so rare that only a handful have been confirmed in top-notch condition. One in pristine shape sold at auction recently for $13 million. Not even joking. Imagine finding that in your change after buying a gas station hot dog. Now that's what I call a lucky lunch. Now I know what you're thinking: how do I know if I have one? First, look for a 2016 penny with no mint mark. Easy enough. Then check the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" and the date. Look for any obvious doubling, like the letters looking thick, weirdly shadowed, or like Lincoln's beard had a rough night. You can also invest in a cheap magnifying glass or even use your phone's zoom feature, although trying to hold the penny in your phone steady might lead to some creative yoga poses. Also keep an eye out for coins in perfect condition. We're talking shiny, barely touched coins. Those have the highest chance of raking in serious dough at auctions, and trust me, you don't want to send grandma's birthday coin collection to Coinstar before checking through it. That's how you lose $1 million and Thanksgiving invitations. So here's the deal: a few years ago I was helping my aunt clean out her garage. You know, the usual dusty photo albums, old lamps, and about 37 jars of random screws. We found this old peanut butter jar filled with coin. She was gonna toss it, but I said, "Hey, let me dig through this. I'm a coin nerd, it's what we do." And would you believe it, tucked between two sticky nickels was a penny from 1992 with a white AM reverse, which turned out to be worth over $1,000. I nearly choked on the dust bunnies. That moment changed how I see every coin ever since. Every trip to the grocery store, every visit to the vending machine is a treasure hunt. I even had a dream once where I found a gold-plated penny under my pillow and woke up clutching a bottle cap. True story. You might be thinking, now there's no way I'll find one of those, but here's the thing: coins don't care who you are. They don't care if you're rich, poor, wearing socks with sandals, or if your dog's name is Mr. Pickles. They're out there in the wild, waiting to be found. And let me tell you, the coin world is full of surprises, from double dies to off-center strikes to coins made on the wrong planchets. That's coin speak for the metal disc before it becomes a coin. Every little imperfection could mean big bucks, and the best part, you don't have to be a pro to start. You just need curiosity, a light, and maybe a little patience. Check your change jars, your old wallets, that one drawer everyone has that's filled with batteries, pennies, and a broken tape measure, because if someone out there found a 2016 no mint mark double die penny worth $13 million, you might too. Once you find a penny that looks suspiciously valuable, don't clean it. Collectors love coins in their original crusty state. It's like vintage for money. Cleaning a coin is like washing a vintage action figure with bleach. Just don't do it. Instead, toss it in a soft cloth or a coin flip that's a little plastic sleeve, not an actual flip, and take it to a professional coin appraiser or grading service. You never know, you might be sitting on $1 million surprise. So there you have it, folks. The humble 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be your golden ticket to financial freedom. We've covered how to spot it, what makes it special, why it's rare, and how a little minting error turned a pocket change penny into $1 million treasure. Have you ever found a weird looking coin in your change? Have you checked your 2016 pennies yet? Drop a comment and tell us your story, and if you haven't already, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for more coin collecting tips, stories, and secrets. We've got plenty more rare coins to cover, and who knows, the next one might be sitting in your couch cushions right now waiting to make you a millionaire. Hey folks and fellow treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change could mean big change. If you've ever tossed a penny aside thinking it's just 1 cent, then get ready to feel some serious regret, because today we're diving deep into one of the most shocking stories in coin collecting history. That's right, I'm talking about the legendary 1970 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that some lucky duck once found in a jar on their grandma's shelf and sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, 1 cent became $1.4 million. Now, if that doesn't make you want to check your couch cushions, I don't know what will. So buckle up, grab your coin jar or your emergency taco money stash, and let's get into why this little copper coin is flipping the coin world upside down. Okay, so let's set the stage. It's 1970, bell bottoms are in, Elvis is still king, and people are still buying gas for under 40 cents a gallon, and somewhere in Denver, Batch of Lincoln pennies is being minted, one batch just like all the others, or was it? Here's where the magic happens. Some of these 1970 Lincoln pennies came out with some weird little quirks. Now when I say quirks, I don't mean socially awkward pennies, I mean rare collectible mistakes. These little boo-boos from the mint are what collectors dream about, and they're why this penny is worth more than most used cars. So let's talk about the basics. What makes this 1970 penny so special? Well, it all comes down to one thing. Sounds like something out of a spy movie, right? But all it means is that during minting the coin got struck twice, and not in a good way. The result, letters and numbers on the front of the coin look kind of like they've had one too many Red Bulls. They're doubled, and not subtly either. You can see the doubling clearly on the word Liberty and the date 1970. It's like the coin just couldn't commit to one version of itself, and that's what collectors are hunting for, a clean, crisp, strong doubling, especially if the penny is in amazing condition. Now remember, this isn't every 1970 penny. If that were true, we'd all be millionaires and probably watching this video on gold-plated iPhones. This is a specific variety, and it's rare, like finding an avocado that's ripe for more than 12 hours. Rare. What makes this even more wild is that most people have no idea what to look for. They see an old penny, they toss it back in the jar and move on. Meanwhile, some dude just picked up the coin version of a winning lottery ticket from the floor of his truck. Now let me tell you a quick story. When I first got into coin collecting, I thought the whole idea was kind of silly. I mean, come on, it's just coins, right? But then one day, while helping my uncle clean out his garage, I found this old Folgers coffee can filled with change. At first I was just planning to cash it in for snacks, but curiosity got the better of me. I started looking at dates and mint marks, and boom, there it was, a 1970 penny with weird looking letters. I thought it was fake. My uncle thought I was nuts, but after doing a little research and taking it to a local expert, well, let's just say I didn't need to borrow money for gas that month. Now don't get me wrong, mine wasn't the $1 million version, but it was worth a few $100, which still beat the heck out of what I'd planned to get for it: a questionable gas station burrito. The point is, you never know what's lying around in those jars in your home. You might have a coin that could change your life, or at least pay off your credit card. First, check the date. Make sure it's 1970 and has a D under the date. The D is the mint mark showing it was made in Denver. Next, grab a magnifying glass, look closely at the date and the word Liberty. If you see clear doubling, congratulations, you just might be holding something very special. And if it's in amazing condition, like shiny, brand new and uncirculated, you might be looking at one of those coins that sells at auction for crazy money. As of today, the most perfect known example of this coin sold for $1.4 million. That's right, someone spent a house's worth of cash on a penny. I don't know about you, but I can't even commit to paying extra for guac, and someone else is out here dropping $1 million on a 1-cent coin. That's the magic of coin collecting. Alright, coin fam, let's wrap this up with a reality check. That penny in your pocket might just be worth more than your car, your rent, and maybe even your student loans all combined. The 1970 Lincoln penny is one of those hidden gems that reminds us why collecting coins is like modern-day treasure hunting. It's fun, it's educational, and sometimes it pays off big time. So here's your homework: dig through those jars, check your old wallets, raid your parents' junk drawers, with permission of course. You never know where a valuable coin might be hiding. And hey, if you liked this video and want more tips on coins that could make you rich without robbing a bank, hit that subscribe button, smash the like and ring the bell so you don't miss our next money hunting adventure. You don't need a metal detector or pirate map to find treasure. Sometimes it's sitting right in your pocket. We're talking about a single penny from 1949 that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single, rusty, no mint mark Lincoln penny that could buy you a mansion, a Lambo, or a lifetime supply of peanut butter and Netflix subscriptions. So grab your coffee or your soda, kick back, and let's dig deep into how this little copper circle went from pocket change to millionaire status. Alright, let's start with the basics. Point 1949. The world was recovering from World War II, TVs were becoming a thing, and a penny could actually buy you stuff, but not all 1949 pennies are created equal. The one we're obsessing over today is the 1949 no mint mark Lincoln penny. That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, because Philly didn't use a mint mark back then. I guess they were just humble like that. Most of these pennies were used and abused in vending machines, gumball dispensers, or tossed in piggy banks across America. But a very select few, like our millionaire penny, came out a little different. Think of it like coin puberty. Some grow up regular, others hit the jackpot of genetics and get super rare defects. In the coin world, that's called a variety or error. And collectors go bananas over it. It's rumored to be a rare error coin struck on a bronze planchet with a doubled die obverse. Translation: the coin press at the mint hiccuped and doubled the image, particularly Lincoln's face and the lettering, giving us a beautiful mistake that turned into pure gold. Well, copper. But worth gold. Let's be real. You're not gonna find this exact penny at the bottom of a wishing well. There are only a handful of confirmed error coins from 1949 in mint condition. And I mean pristine, untouched, looks like it was pressed yesterday kind of condition. Most pennies from 1949 have long since been scratched, worn down, or used as makeshift screwdriver heads. This particular no mint mark beauty got graded by a top-tier coin grading service, scoring a high MS, mint state, grade. That's like being the prom king of pennies, and the kicker? It was sold at auction for a whopping $1.5 million. I don't know about you, but if I had $1 million penny, I'd be storing it in a velvet line safeguarded by a Rottweiler named Copper. So about 2 years ago, I'm digging through a jar of old coins in my grandma's attic. She's one of those never throw anything away, it might be worth something types. I'm elbow deep in buffalo nickels, steel war pennies, and Canadian quarters that snuck in somehow, and then I see it. A 1949 penny. No mint mark, heart stops. Sweating profusely. I'm already imagining what kind of yacht I'll buy. I even called my boss and casually asked how fast I could resign without HR chasing me down. I take it to a coin dealer, hands trembling, dreams alive, and he looks at it with his little magnifying thing and goes, neat. Worth maybe $2. So yeah. Moral of the story? Not every old coin is gold, but hey, it made for a good story. And I still have that penny. I keep it on my desk to remind myself not to get too excited until an expert weighs in. Then make sure it doesn't have a mint mark. That means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. And now, bust out a magnifying glass or your phone camera, zoom if you're fancy, and look at Lincoln's face, the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." If you see doubling or weird shadows on the letters or features, you might have something. Also check the color. A true uncirculated penny will have a strong red luster, like it just rolled off the press. And if it's got weird errors like off-centering, clipped edges, or lamination issues? That's when it gets exciting. So let's say lightning strikes and you find a 1949 no mint mark penny that looks interesting. What now? Don't clean it. Please. That's like washing the patina off a vintage Mustang. Step 2. Store it safely, preferably in a coin flip or protective holder. Get it appraised by a professional numismatist or sent to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Prepare your acceptance speech for Most Surprisingly Wealthy Person of the Year. But seriously, getting it graded is key. That's how you turn a maybe cool coin into a verified valuable one. Collectors are wild. And rare coins are like art, limited, historical, and desirable. Owning a one-of-a-kind coin is like owning a slice of history. And for some wealthy collectors, dropping $1 million on a copper disc is like us ordering guac on a burrito. Expensive, but totally worth it. It's not just about the coin. It's about the story, the rarity, the condition, and that sweet, sweet bragging right that says, yeah, I own a penny worth more than your entire car. So the next time you're cleaning out your drawers, flipping through change at the grocery store, or raiding grandma's coin jar, keep your eyes peeled for that magical 1949 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And hey, even if you don't find it, now you've got a killer conversation starter. Did you know there's a penny out there worth $1.5 million? Boom. You're instantly interesting at parties. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more coin tips, crazy stories, and money-making strategies coming your way. Drop a comment if you've ever found a weird old coin or if you're currently flipping over your entire house looking for one. I see you. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just be your ticket to early retirement. If you've ever dropped a penny and said it's just a cent, you might want to start crawling around on your floor right now, because today we're talking about a very special coin, the 1988 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny that's turning heads and raising eyebrows with a jaw-dropping market value of $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. Not a typo, not a dream, and definitely not Monopoly money. This is the real deal. Now, before you start flipping through your coin jar or attacking the couch cushions, let me tell you, this isn't just any 1988 penny. It's got a secret, a detail so tiny most folks never notice it, but coin collectors, oh, they're obsessed. And today we're going to break down what makes this little coppery disc so dang valuable. So grab your lucky magnifying glass, a snack, maybe even a caffeinated beverage, and stick around, because you don't want to miss how you could be holding $1 million coin in your hand without even knowing it. Alright, let's rewind the clock to 1988, a year of big hair, loud music, and apparently valuable pennies. The Denver Mint stamped millions of Lincoln pennies that year, over 5.2 billion to be exact. So how on earth is one of them worth $1.6 million? Well, the short answer is it's all about the details, and the long answer, oh, we've got 40 minutes to get into that, so buckle up. Let's start with a little coin anatomy for the newbies out there. The Lincoln penny features Honest Abe on the obverse side, that's the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse or the back. Pretty straightforward, right? But here's where things get juicy. In 1988, a small number of Lincoln pennies minted in Denver came out with a reverse design that wasn't supposed to be used anymore. It had an older die that showed a different engraving style. Specifically, look closely at the FG initials that stand for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse on the rare $1,000,000 version. Those initials are far away and kind of ghosty, like they're playing hide and seek. This is called the 1988 D reverse of 1989 transitional error. And yes, I know that sounds like a really complicated way to say oops, but in the coin world, oops can mean kaching. Now let me paint a picture here. Imagine you're 10 years old, it's 1999, you're digging around in the junk drawer at grandma's house trying to find batteries for your Game Boy, and instead you find this penny. It's a little dull, maybe even kind of sticky, but hey, it's a penny. You pocket it. Fast forward 25 years, you find that same penny in your coin jar, and suddenly boom, you realize you've got a $1.6 million artifact sitting between some lint and a Canadian nickel. Now don't go quitting your job just yet, because finding one of these babies is no walk in the park. They're extremely rare, like spotting Bigfoot riding a unicorn. Rare but not impossible, and that's what makes this whole thing so exciting. These pennies were made at the Denver Mint, hence the little d under the year. 2, they have the reverse of 1989, which is a tiny design difference. You need a microscope or at least a really good phone camera to spot. 3, they've been auctioned off for ridiculous amounts of money, with the highest verified sale at around $1.6 million for one in pristine condition. 4, if your penny is scratched up, worn out, or used as a chew toy by your dog, sorry, probably not gonna cash in big. But if your penny is in great condition and shows that reverse of 1989, you might want to sit down before you Google its value. So a few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, which I only do when the smell becomes a health hazard, and I found a pile of coins under the seat. You know, the usual nickels, dimes, gum wrappers, a half-eaten French fry that might have been from 2014, but one penny stood out. It had that rich copper tone and looked newer than the others. I remember joking to my buddy, hey, maybe this one's worth $1 million. He laughed. We both laughed. We went back to eating tacos. A week later, I was watching a coin video much like this one, and I paused mid-bite as I recognized that exact penny, the 1988 D. I dug it out again, grabbed a magnifying glass, and squinted like I was decoding the Da Vinci Code, and wouldn't you know it, it had the reverse of 1989. Now before you freak out, no, mine wasn't the $1 million one, it was too worn down, but the thrill of thinking it might be, oh man, I was pacing around the house like I won the lottery. It was like finding out your cat might be royalty in a past life. That's the fun of this hobby. It's not just about making money, it's about the mystery, the excitement, the thrill of the hunt, and the fact that you can find something so rare in the most ordinary places is just awesome. If you want to find one of these rare 1988 D pennies, here's what you should do. Step 1, check your change daily like it's your job. Get in the habit of looking before you spend. Step 2, get a magnifying glass. Trust me, your eyes will thank you. Step 3, look for that FG initial. If it's farther away from the building and kind of faint, you might have a winner. Step 4, consider getting it professionally graded. If it looks promising, companies like PCGS or NGC can confirm if it's the real deal. Step 5, don't clean your coin. Whatever you do, cleaning it will actually decrease the value, so resist the urge to scrub it with soap and a toothbrush. This isn't a car, it's a potential treasure. Also hit up coin shows, join coin collecting groups online, follow Reddit threads. You'd be surprised how helpful and nerdy the coin community is. They'll help you spot errors, trends, and even point you toward local appraisal events. Now, if you're just starting out and all this sounds like a foreign language, don't worry, everyone starts somewhere. I used to think wheat pennies came from farms and buffalo nickels were just from zoos, but once you dive in, it becomes super addictive in the best way. So there you have it, the story of a humble 1988 D Lincoln penny that somehow turned into a millionaire and made collectors around the world lose their minds. This little copper coin isn't just spare change, it's a symbol of how something so ordinary can be extraordinary if you just look close enough. Now, if this video sparked your curiosity, made you smile, or gave you even the tiniest urge to raid your coin jar, then do me a favor, smash that like button. Like you're flipping through a pile of old coins. Hit subscribe because we're just getting started, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about the next big coin that could make you rich. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to start checking your change more carefully. I read them all and I love hearing your stories. Hey folks, have you ever checked your couch cushions and thought, man, I wish I'd find something valuable in here besides stale popcorn and remote batteries? Well, guess what, you might already have something valuable and not even know it. I'm talking about a tiny copper coin that might just be worth more than your car, or your house, or your neighbor's house. Yep, we're diving into the wild and wonderful world of the 1962 D Lincoln penny today. Spoiler alert, it could be worth a whopping $1.7 million. That's right, $1.7 million. From a penny. I mean, come on. Who knew Honest Abe was packing that kind of heat in your pocket change? Stick around because we're going to break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, how you might already have one, and of course, I'll throw in a little embarrassing personal story because, well, why not? It's YouTube. Let's get into it. Why is everyone going nuts over a coin that originally cost, like, 1 cent? And why the D? Does it stand for, dude, this is valuable? Sadly, no, it stands for Denver. That's the mint where it was produced. The Denver Mint struck a ton of these, over 1.7 billion to be exact, so you'd think that would make them pretty common, right? But here's the kicker. Most of those coins are your everyday, run-of-the-mill pennies. Spend M, save M, stick M in a jar on your dresser and forget M for 10 years. But a few, and I mean a very few, of these bad boys came out a little different. A little spicier. A little, shall we say, error-prone. And that's what gets collectors excited. We're talking about rare errors, super high grades, and coins that look so pristine they basically shine brighter than your future. If you've got one of these pennies in mint state 67 red or better, congratulations, you're potentially holding a $1.7 million prize. Great question. It comes down to rarity and condition. Most coins from 1962 were circulated heavily. I mean, who wouldn't spend a penny back in the day? You could buy 5 pieces of gum or 1/10 of a comic book. So to find a 1962 penny that has never seen the inside of a gumball machine, never rubbed shoulders with nickels in a pocket, and still looks like it just rolled off the mint conveyor belt, that's insanely rare. Add in any kind of mint error like a double die, off-center strike, or even a weird planchet mistake, and boom, you've got yourself a collector's dream. Now let me tell you a story. True story, I swear. A few years back, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old garage. You know, the usual dusty boxes, broken lawn chairs, one tennis racket with no strings, real treasure. He hands me this old metal coffee can, says, here, take these. Just a bunch of pennies. I almost tossed it, but then I thought, hey, coin guy on YouTube always says never throw away old coins. What if I have something rare? So I took it home, dumped it out on my kitchen table, and started sorting. Felt like I was panning for gold. And wouldn't you know it, I found a 1962 Lincoln penny that looked unusually shiny. Now, mine wasn't the $1 million one, it had a scratch across Abe's face that made it look like he got in a bar fight, but still, it was worth about $20. For 1 penny. And it got me hooked. Most people just ignore their coins. We use them, we lose them, and we never think twice. But if you just slow down, take a look, maybe get a cheap magnifying glass or one of those coin apps, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Or in this case, a copper fortune. Now if you're wondering what exactly to look for in your 1962 penny, here's a quick checklist. The mint mark. The D should be crisp, not all smudged like it's been through the laundry. Look for doubling in the letters, especially Liberty or In God We Trust. Number 3, color matters. If it's still that bright, original reddish hue, that's a good sign. If it's in near perfect condition with 0 scratches or wear, that's jackpot territory. Get it graded. I know, it sounds like a hassle. But grading can make the difference between cool penny and cha-ching. It's like having your coin walk the red carpet. You want it to look sharp when it hits the market, and trust me, the coin market right now is bananas. People are shelling out big bucks for rare cents. Especially older ones with a story or unique condition. One 1962 penny graded MS67 red was recently appraised for $1.7 million. That's the dream. Imagine flipping a penny into a new house, car, and a boat, with change left over for ice cream. That little copper coin you've been ignoring might be your ticket to financial freedom, or at the very least, a killer story at your next family barbecue. Whether it's the 1962 Lincoln penny or another sleeper hit hiding in your piggy bank, the only way you'll know is if you check. And hey, if you're as fascinated by this stuff as I am, or you just want a good excuse to avoid doing your laundry for another hour, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos coming your way on coins worth big bucks, tips for spotting the valuable ones, and how to avoid getting scammed on eBay. Plus, I'll probably embarrass myself with more awkward family stories, so there's that too. Drop a comment below if you've got a cool coin story, and let me know if you've ever found a rare penny in the wild. And remember, always check your change. You might just be a millionaire and not even know it yet. Alright, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions looking for quarters for the vending machine. You come up with a few old pennies and toss them aside because, let's be honest, who uses pennies anymore, right? But what if I told you that one of those dirty little copper coins might actually be worth $1.8 million? What coin are we talking about? The 2006 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny.no. It's not a prank. And no, it's not one of those coins dipped in magic unicorn gold. It's real, it's rare, and it could be in your pocket change right now. So stick with me because in this video, we're diving deep into the coin that went from being worth 1 cent to becoming a millionaire's dream. Abraham Lincoln first made his coin debut in 1909, which was actually the first time a real person's face was put on an American coin. Before that, it was all Lady Liberties and Eagles and other majestic things. Now fast forward to 2006. It seems like just another average year. Facebook was still just for college kids, people were flipping open Razr phones, and gas was only about $2 a gallon. Life was good. And meanwhile, the Denver Mint was cranking out millions of Lincoln pennies, one of which would become a legend. Okay, so here's the $1 million, or should I say $1.8 million question. Why is this specific penny worth so much? Well, it's not because it has a tiny diamond glued to Lincoln's forehead. The truth is, it's all about errors and rarity. See, every now and then, the mint messes up. And for coin collectors, that's like winning the jackpot. The 2006 D Lincoln penny in question has a rare die error. One side may appear slightly doubled, think double vision, like Lincoln had a couple drinks before his portrait was stamped. Or the finish might be off, missing part of the copper plating, giving it a bizarre, almost alien look. But wait, there's more. This particular penny is also in mint state condition, graded a stunning MS69. That means it's practically flawless. Like the Brad Pitt of pennies, most of us are lucky to find one that isn't covered in gum or green stuff. But this one? It's crisp. It's sharp. It's shiny. It's rare. Put all those factors together: error, condition, rarity, and bam! You've got a penny that's sold at auction for $1.8 million. Short answer: serious coin collectors and investors who know the value of rarity. Think of them like Indiana Jones, but instead of ancient idols, they're hunting scents. Now, these collectors have seen it all. So when something like the 2006 D-era penny comes along, it's like the Super Bowl for numismatists. And once the bidding starts, oh man, you better believe things get intense. One collector reportedly said, and I quote, "I had to have it. It was the missing piece of my collection. I'd sell my truck for it." And, spoiler alert, he did. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale with my uncle, who's one of those guys who somehow finds treasure where everyone else just sees junk. He hands me this old coffee can and says, "Dig through these pennies. There might be something good." Now, I was skeptical. I mean, come on, who wants to go elbow deep in sticky, dusty coins? But he was buying me lunch, so I gave it a shot. After about 15 minutes, I pulled out a weird-looking penny. Looked like it had a double rim and Lincoln's eye looked like it was twitching. I set it aside. A week later, I took it to a local coin shop just for fun. Turns out, it wasn't worth millions, womp womp, but it was worth $150. For a penny. That I almost threw away. Since then, I've been hooked. I never look at pennies the same way again, and ever since I heard about the 2006 $1 million penny, you better believe I'm checking every single coin like it's a lottery ticket. So now you're probably thinking, okay, I'm in. But how do I know if I have the golden penny? Look for errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or a missing layer of copper. If it's shiny and uncirculated, you might have something special. Compare it to grading standards. If you think you've got a gem, take it to a professional grader, and hey, don't rule out getting a magnifying glass and geeking out a bit. Trust me, it's oddly satisfying. You'll start noticing stuff you never did before, like that Lincoln's collar is actually pretty stylish. Shop it around to auction houses or post it on legit coin marketplaces. Be patient. You might get offers right away or have to wait for the right buyer, and if you're worried someone will try to lowball you, don't be. A good collector knows what they're looking at. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't ignore it. Don't flick it. Don't say, not worth picking up. Because hey, it might be worth more than your car. Or your house. Or your entire bank account. The 2006 D Lincoln penny is a shining example of why coin collecting is still alive and thriving. And if you're wondering, can I really find one? The answer is yes. People have found rare coins in rolls from the bank, in old jars, and even in pocket change. So start checking your coins. Ask your grandma for her coin stash. Search through your glove box. Who knows? You might be sitting on a penny that could change your life. If you liked this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and turn on those notifications. We've got more $1 million coin stories coming your way, plus tips on how to spot valuable coins and where to sell them. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled, your coins clean, and your hopes high. Because your next big break might be 1 penny away. Alright folks, let me hit you with a wild fact that might just have you flipping your couch cushions and raiding your old piggy banks faster than you can say honest. Abe, did you know that a regular looking 1968 penny with no mint mark recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yeah, you heard that right, not a typo, not a scam, not a dream. Someone made $1 million off a coin that most of us probably tossed in a parking meter without a second thought. So today we're diving into the story of the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the secrets that make it so valuable, how you might spot one yourself, and how I once accidentally gave one away at a vending machine. Spoiler alert, there were no refunds, so grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and maybe a snack, because we're going on a treasure hunt with history, humor, and a little heart. The 1968 Lincoln penny features our good old President Abraham Lincoln looking dapper as always on the obverse or front of the coin with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," in the year 1968. Now here's the kicker, most 1968 pennies will have a small letter below the date that tells you where the coin was minted, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if there's no mint mark at all, congratulations, you might be holding a Philadelphia minted coin, and if that coin has some rare characteristics, well my friend, you might be holding a gold mine disguised as a copper disc. Now you might be wondering, okay, why is this specific penny worth over $1 million? Is it made of gold? Does it grant wishes? Does Lincoln wink at you if you stare long enough? What actually makes this penny so special is a combination of rarity, condition, and a little thing called a minting error. Some of these 1968 no mint mark pennies have what collectors call an ultra rare full red finish, which means the copper hasn't toned or changed color over time. It still looks as shiny and fresh as the day it was minted, and in collector terms that's basically the holy grail. Others may have doubling on the letters or numbers that happened during the minting process, also known as a double die, which makes the coin even rarer. But wait, there's more, like a late night infomercial. These coins don't just have to be rare, they also have to be in top-notch condition, like I'm talking museum quality, near perfect grade, almost as if it was just handed to you by Abe himself with a wink and a nod. Well, first take a look at it. Is there a mint mark below the date? If yes, you can keep it for sentimental value or your morning coffee fun. But if there's no mint mark, inspect it closely. Is the coin still bright reddish copper? Is everything on it super crisp? No signs of wear, scratches, or corrosion? That's a good sign. If you think you've got a winner, the next step is getting it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These folks are the pros, and they can officially tell you if your penny is just a penny or a secret millionaire. Now I know this all sounds a little far-fetched, like how can a penny be worth more than a Lamborghini? A few years ago I was doing some spring cleaning, which really means I was just shoving junk into different drawers and calling it organization, when I found a small dusty coin jar tucked behind a stack of old pizza coupons. I dumped it out just for fun and started going through it, not expecting anything more than a few nickels and a Canadian penny or two, but boom, there it was, a 1968 no mint mark penny, all shiny like it had just finished a spa day. Now, me being the genius that I am, I shrugged, tossed it in a Ziploc, and later used it to buy a Snickers bar from the vending machine at work. A few weeks later I read an article about this exact coin being sold for over $1 million, and let me tell you, I almost cried into my chocolate bar. Moral of the story, always check your change before you trade it for candy. And hey, if you're wondering why someone would even pay that much for a penny, it all comes down to collectors. There always on the hunt for ultra rare pieces, and when someone wants to complete a set or snag a perfect specimen, they'll pay top dollar. So even if you think it's just a penny, it could be someone else's dream coin. The next time you get a penny in your change, don't just chuck it in your car cup holder or flick it into a fountain and wish for $1 million, because you might already be holding it. That 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be hiding in plain sight in your junk drawer, in your couch cushions, or even at the bottom of your laundry machine, right next to that one missing sock. Take a few minutes, look through your change, check those dates, inspect the condition, and who knows, maybe you'll find the $1 million coin that changes your life. And if you liked this video, learned something new, or just enjoyed the tragic tale of my vending machine penny, then do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring the bell so you don't miss more money-making coin tips and stories, because let's be honest, who doesn't want to turn loose change into a fortune? Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and penny pinchers. Ever thought a humble penny could be worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard me right, like $1.2 million. Today, we're diving deep into the world of one very special penny, the 2011 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. If you think pennies are just the annoying coins clogging your couch cushions or jingling uselessly in your pocket, think again. This little copper guy might just make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Before we jump in, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I've got tons of crazy stories and tips on coins that could turn your pocket change into treasure. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Alright, so why is a 2011 penny suddenly worth $1.2 million? What's the secret sauce? Let me break it down for you. First off, the 2011 penny isn't your average penny. This particular one with the D-Mint mark was minted in Denver, and it turns out there's something super rare about it. Unlike most pennies that just quietly do their job, this one has an unusual error or a unique characteristic that makes collectors drool like they just found the last slice of pizza at a party. We're talking about rare mint errors or maybe a misstrike, those little imperfections that make coins special and crazy valuable. And now, if you're sitting there wondering if you should rush to check your piggy bank, hold up. Not every 2011 D penny is worth $1 million. Only the rare ones with the right mistake or feature get the jackpot. It's like finding a unicorn in a herd of horses. But here's the kicker, once you spot that rare penny, you're holding a gold mine. Well, copper mine technically. Speaking of which, here's a funny little story for you. One time, I was just casually flipping through a jar of pennies, the ones everyone keeps for emergencies or just because they're too lazy to spend them. Suddenly, I pulled out a penny and it looks different. Not just dirty or scratched, but something about the mint mark looked off. I thought maybe it was some new design I missed. I took it to a coin dealer, and guess what? It turned out to be a rare error penny worth way more than I imagined. If I hadn't been bored one rainy afternoon and decided to go through those pennies, I'd have never found that treasure. Moral of the story, never underestimate the power of your loose change. Back to the 2011 D penny. Its current market value is sitting around $1.2 million, which means someone who owns one of these rare specimens is basically sitting on a small fortune. Just imagine casually dropping a penny in a fountain and then finding out it's worth $1 million. Talk about luck. So, what makes the 2011 D Lincoln penny so valuable compared to others? It's all about rarity, condition, and of course, the story behind the coin. Collectors are hunting for that perfect combo of mint mark, year, and mint error, the holy trinity of coin collecting. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, this is cool and all, but how do I know if my penny is valuable? Great question. First, check the mint mark. The D on the 2011 penny means it was minted in Denver. Then, look for any weird marks, misprints, or unusual colors. If it looks shiny, perfect, or a little funky, it might be worth getting it appraised by a pro. And hey, if you find one, don't just keep it in your sock drawer. Get it graded and protected so you don't accidentally toss it in the laundry. I also want to point out something funny. Pennies have been around forever, but most people still think they're worthless. I once had a friend who threw away a whole roll of pennies thinking they were useless. A few weeks later, he found out one of those pennies was worth thousands because of a rare error. He wasn't happy. Lesson learned, treat your pennies like little coins of mystery and possibility. Another thing to keep in mind is market trends. The value of rare coins like the 2011 D penny can go up and down depending on demand, how many collectors are out there, and the overall economy. So, if you have one, hold tight and watch the market. You might just cash out big one day. Finally, here's a quick pro tip. Always keep your pennies clean but don't polish or scrub them aggressively. You want to keep their original condition because cleaning can reduce their value. Yep, it's counterintuitive, but that's how coin collectors roll. Alright, folks, now you know why the 2011 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is the rockstar of pennies, worth an eye-popping $1.2 million. Whether you're a casual coin flicker or a hardcore collector, this penny teaches us one thing: treasure can come in the smallest packages, even the ones you toss without a second thought. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell because I've got loads more tips, stories, and crazy coin facts coming your way. Who knows? Your next penny might just be the key to your $1 million moment. Remember, the next time you dig through your change, don't just look for the dollar bills, look for the stories hiding in those tiny coins. Stay curious, keep hunting, and who knows? Maybe your wallet is hiding a fortune waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your coins close and your dreams even closer. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the wild, weird, and wonderful world of coins. Yes, those little shiny things you might have in your couch cushions right now. But what if I told you that one of those tiny pennies you barely notice could be worth over $1 million? No, this isn't a late April Fool's joke or a clickbait headline. Today, we're talking about the 2017 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and it's worth a whopping $1.3 million. That's right. $1.3 million. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just want to rush to your nearest piggy bank or coin jar to see if you've been sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Plus, I've got some funny stories, some pro tips, and even a little bit of history to keep things interesting. So, grab a snack, get comfy, and let's dive into the penny that's packing some serious punch of the 2017 D Lincoln penny. What makes it so special? On the surface, it looks like any other penny from 2017 with the D Mint mark, meaning it was made at the Denver Mint. But this particular coin has a crazy value because of a rare error that collectors are absolutely drooling over. And now, before your eyes glaze over and you start thinking, wow, this sounds like a math test, stay with me. Coin errors are like the unicorns of the coin world. They're rare, mysterious, and when you find one, it's basically like winning the lottery, but without buying a ticket. The 2017 D penny that's worth $1.3 million has a unique double die error on the reverse side. Basically, the design got stamped twice by mistake, creating a doubling effect on the words and numbers. Think of it like when you accidentally press a button twice on your phone and end up sending the same text twice, but way cooler and way more valuable. And now, here's where it gets fun. This error wasn't caught at the mint, so a handful of these pennies got into circulation. Imagine that someone might have been buying a coffee, got their change, and handed out $1 million penny without even knowing it. Honestly, if that was me, I'd probably be too busy trying to hide it in my wallet before anyone else noticed. Speaking of hiding pennies, let me tell you about the time I found a weird-looking penny in my kid's piggy bank. It wasn't a 2017 D or anything close to $1 million find, but it had a weird scratch that made it look like a smiley face. I joked to my kid that it was a lucky penny, and who knows, maybe it was. The point is, every coin has a story, and you never know when that story might come with a fat price tag. Back to the 2017 D, what makes this error so valuable is not just its rarity but the demand from collectors. People are hunting for it like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. The grading of the coin also plays a huge role. Coins are rated on their condition from poor to mint state, and the cleaner and sharper the coin, the more it's worth. That's why a 2017 D double die penny in near perfect condition can command that $1 million price tag. And now, I know what you're thinking, okay, but how often do these error pennies pop up? Should I be checking every penny I come across? The truth is, they're super rare, but the best strategy is to always check your change. I mean, you're already handling the coins, might as well take a quick peek, right? Plus, knowing what to look for helps a ton. The doubling on the lettering is the giveaway here. The letters might look thick or shadowed. If you ever spot something like that, it's worth pulling out a loupe or even just a good magnifying glass and taking a closer look. And if you don't have one, no worries, your phone camera zoom works great too. I mean, we're living in the future, right? Even Lincoln would be impressed. Let's also talk market value trends. Like any collectible, coin values fluctuate depending on the market, how many collectors are hunting for them, and even the economy. Right now, the 2017 D Mint Mark penny with the double die error is hot. It's been featured in auctions and private sales where bidders have thrown down serious cash for it. Here's a fun fact: sometimes these coins sell for more than a car, or even a down payment on a house. Imagine telling your friends, yeah, I sold a penny for a new Tesla. I mean, talk about turning pennies into pounds, literally, but remember, not every 2017 D penny is worth $1 million. Most are just your everyday pennies. The trick is knowing how to spot that special one. And that's why you've got to keep learning and keep your eyes open. And hey, if you ever find yourself with one of these, don't just put it in a jar and forget it, get it graded by a professional, protect it properly, and maybe even talk to a coin expert to get the best value. Now, if you're wondering how to even get your hands on one of these pennies, it's tough. They don't just show up at your local grocery store. Collectors usually find them through coin shows, auctions, or private collections. But hey, if you're starting out, just keep hunting, and maybe one day you'll stumble on your own coin treasure. Before I wrap this up, I want to share a quick story about a friend of mine who found a rare coin years ago. He was cleaning out his grandparents' attic and found an old coin in a dusty box. He had no clue what it was, but he took it to a coin shop, and boom, it was worth thousands. He was so excited he told everyone, except he accidentally left the coin on the counter when he went to grab coffee. Yep, someone else walked off with his treasure. So moral of the story, once you find something valuable, keep it safe and maybe don't leave it unattended while you get your caffeine fix. Alright, folks, that's the lowdown on the 2017 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. Crazy, right? It's amazing how something so small and common looking can hold such incredible value if you know what to look for. If you liked this video, learned something new, or just had a laugh at my penny stories, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'm here to bring you more tips, tricks, and fun facts about coins that could be worth a fortune. And hey, who knows, the next big coin treasure might be hiding in your pocket right now. So, keep your eyes peeled, keep those coin jars close, and keep that sense of humor ready because the world of coins is full of surprises. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a penny worth millions. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dig into the world of coins that could actually make you some serious cash or at least impress your friends at parties. Today, we're talking about something that sounds super ordinary but can be shockingly valuable, the 2020 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yeah, that tiny little copper disc you might have tossed in a jar or forgotten in your couch cushions could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. No joke, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this penny is more than just pocket change and how you can spot one without accidentally paying for a fancy coffee with $1 million coin. Also, if you love discovering crazy coin stories and smart tips to find hidden treasure in your everyday stuff, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what's coming next. But while most of us were figuring out how to survive 2020, some lucky folks were unknowingly holding a piece of history that could turn into a gold mine, or well, a copper mine worth $1.4 million. Crazy, huh? Now, you might be thinking, wait, the 2020 penny? Isn't that just the same old penny with Lincoln's face? What makes this one special? Well, here's the scoop. The 2020 D-Mint Mark penny is part of a limited and rare error series that collectors have been going nuts over. The D stands for Denver Mint, which is where this particular penny was made. But what really puts it in the big leagues is a combination of a unique die error and an extremely low production number compared to other pennies. These things are as rare as finding your phone charger the first time you look for it, and I'm not just pulling numbers out of thin air. The current market value of this coin is hovering around $1.4 million. That's right, over $1 million for a coin you probably throw on the floor or flip to decide who buys the next round of coffee. Here's the deal with these error pennies. During the minting process, sometimes the machines go a little haywire and create mistakes like double strikes, wrong metal composition, or misaligned designs. For the 2020 D penny, it's a very specific kind of die error that makes it stand out. It's kind of like if your favorite pizza place accidentally gave you extra toppings for free. It's still pizza, but suddenly way more valuable. Spotting this penny isn't exactly like spotting a unicorn at a barbecue. It takes a trained eye, or at least a keen one. And that's where most people miss out. I remember this one time, I was digging through a jar of coins at my grandma's house, you know, that classic, let's see if there's anything good hiding in the change move. And guess what I found? A 2020 penny. I thought, cool, maybe I can finally afford that new video game. But then I remembered hearing about these rare 2020 D pennies and how they could be worth a fortune. So, naturally, I pulled out my magnifying glass and started inspecting every tiny detail like a coin detective. It wasn't the rare one. But that moment sparked my curiosity, and now I'm here sharing these tips with you because maybe, just maybe, you'll find the lucky coin that turns your day around. And honestly, it's fun imagining that your next pocket change could make you a millionaire, right? First, check for the mint mark, look for that tiny D on the coin. Next, inspect the edges and the face for any weird doubling or strange markings. And if you're not sure, don't just guess, get it graded by a professional. Trust me, it's worth the peace of mind. Condition matters. If your penny looks like it survived a few hurricanes and a dog chewing session, it probably won't fetch $1 million. But if it's crisp, clean, and shiny, you're on the right track. The lowdown on the 2020 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's a potential $1 million treasure hiding in plain sight. Whether you've got a handful of coins or just stumbled across one while cleaning your car, keep your eyes peeled because you never know when you might have a priceless penny right in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, or just had a good laugh imagining yourself as a coin millionaire, make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. I've got tons more tips, stories, and insider secrets coming your way to help you spot rare coins and make smart moves with your money. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep hunting, stay curious, and who knows, maybe your next penny is your ticket to the $1 Million Club. Catch you in the next video. Hey there, coin fans and treasure hunters. Ever stumble upon something so small yet so powerful that it could actually make you a millionaire? Sounds like a wild dream, right? Well, hold on to your hats because today we're diving deep into one of the craziest penny stories you'll ever hear, the 2008 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. Worth $1.5 million. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just be rushing to check your own coin jar or couch cushions. Plus, I'll share a hilarious personal story about how I almost tossed out a potential fortune. Spoiler alert, I didn't, but only just barely. If you love uncovering secrets behind everyday money and how to spot those hidden gems, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and let's get this penny party started. You probably know pennies as the little copper coins we used to pay for gum or to make a wish at a fountain. Most of them are worth exactly 1 cent, the universe's way of telling you don't get your hopes up. But this 2008 no-mint Mark penny is like the rare unicorn of the coin world. Normally, pennies made in 2008 come with a mint mark. It's a tiny letter stamped on the coin that tells you where it was made, like a factory tag. Common marks are P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But a 2008 penny with no mint mark? That's like a secret VIP coin. Because the US Mint rarely produces pennies without a mint mark these days, especially in 2008. If one slips through the cracks, it instantly becomes a rare misprint, and collectors love that kind of stuff. Rarity plus history equals big bucks. Now, how did this penny come to be worth $1.5 million? It's all about supply and demand, plus a little coin magic. Only a handful of these no-mint mark 2008 pennies are known to exist. Some might even say it's the holy grail of modern pennies. A collector's hunt for these like they're the last slice of pizza at a party. That scarcity drives up the price dramatically. In fact, recent sales and auctions have shown this penny can fetch prices north of $1 million. Crazy, right? So what should you look for if you want to spot one yourself? First, check the date. Make sure it's a 2008 penny. Then, look really closely for the mint mark. It's usually right under the date. If there's no letter there, bingo. You might be holding something rare. Of course, condition matters too. A shiny, crisp coin is way more valuable than a scratched up or worn penny. And while I'm no expert grader, coins with minimal wear and clear details fetch the highest prices. And now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a coin that could have been a gold mine. Literally. A few years back, I was cleaning out my old childhood room. You know how it goes, piles of junk, random stuff you forgot existed, and way too many old coins rolling around in the carpet. As I was sweeping, I spotted a shiny penny without a mint mark. Naturally, I got curious. I grabbed it, Googled it on the spot, and my jaw nearly hit the floor. It looked like a rare misprint, maybe not the exact 2008 no-mint mark penny, but still pretty valuable. I thought, wow, maybe my piggy bank is richer than I thought. But here's where the humor kicks in. Before I could properly check it out, my dog got excited, snatched the penny, and ran off like it was the last treasure on earth. I spent the next hour chasing him around the house like a madman, thinking I just lost a fortune to a furball. Long story short, I got the coin back, but that moment taught me one thing: always double check your coins before cleaning or tossing them, and never underestimate your pet's speed. The 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Because of its rarity, it's a hot topic among collectors and investors alike. People aren't just collecting these pennies for fun, many see them as a smart investment, kind of like a miniature gold bar you can keep in your pocket. The penny market is fascinating because it's a mix of history, art, and chance. 1 minute, you have a handful of pocket change, and the next, you could have a tiny fortune that tells a story about America's past. And if you're wondering whether this penny will keep going up in value, well, experts say yes, rare coins often appreciate over time, especially ones with unique errors or characteristics. So if you stumble on one, consider holding onto it, or at least get it graded by a professional. Alright, folks, now you know the wild story behind the 2008 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's worth an eye-popping $1.5 million. It's proof that sometimes, treasure hides in the smallest places, like your pocket or that dusty coin jar you've been ignoring. So here's my challenge for you. Next time you find a penny, don't just toss it. Give it a second look, maybe even a little shine, and who knows? You might just hold a millionaire in your hand. If you enjoyed this video and want more insider tips on rare coins, how to spot them, and money strategies that can actually work, hit that subscribe button. Join our treasure hunting community where we share fun stories, helpful tips, and maybe a few laughs along the way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Remember, keep those eyes sharp and those pockets jingling, because the next big treasure might just be one penny away. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dig deep into the fascinating world of coins that could literally make you rich overnight. Yeah, I'm talking about those pennies that aren't just penny ante anymore. Today, we're diving into the story of one very special coin, the 1984 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this little copper disc is currently valued at a whopping $1.6 million. I know, you're probably thinking, how can a penny be worth that much? Stick around, because I'm about to break down the mystery, the magic, and yes, even share a funny story about how I almost tossed a valuable penny in the trash. Spoiler alert, it involves coffee, a messy desk, and a near heart attack. So, if you want to know how this humble penny became a millionaire's dream, and maybe snag some tips on spotting other coins that might make your wallet happy, hit that subscribe button and let's jump right in. Normally, pennies have a tiny letter on them, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, right next to Lincoln's portrait. But the ones without that letter? Those are usually minted in Philadelphia. So far, so normal, but in 1984, something wild happened. A tiny batch of pennies got made without that mint mark, which was unusual because that year, Philadelphia pennies typically had no mint mark anyway. But here's the kicker, some of these pennies ended up with subtle variations or errors that collectors go crazy for. The no mint mark phrase can be a bit confusing since 1984 Philadelphia pennies generally don't have a mint mark, but the value skyrockets because certain errors or rare varieties make these coins extremely sought after. Well, it's all about rarity and condition. Think of it like Pokemon cards or limited edition sneakers, scarcity plus demand equals big bucks. For this penny, the $1 million value comes from its ultra-rare error varieties in pristine condition. Only a handful exist, and collectors would literally fight over them. Not literally, but you get the point. Let me tell you a quick story about how I personally learned to appreciate pennies like these. So, I once had a small jar full of random change on my desk. One day, I spilled my coffee all over it. Yes, very classy, I know. While frantically cleaning, I tossed what I thought was just a regular 1984 penny into the trash. A few days later, I was watching a coin documentary and they mentioned this very penny could be worth over $1 million if it was the no mint mark error variant in perfect condition. Cue the heart attack, always double check your pennies before trashing them. Also, coffee and coins do not mix well. So how do you spot a 1984 no mint mark penny that could be worth serious money? Well, for starters, you want to look at the details on Lincoln's face and the coin surface for any odd marks, doubling, or missing mint marks. It takes a trained eye or a good magnifying glass. If you're serious about coin collecting, investing in a loupe is a must. Trust me on this. Aside from that, condition is everything. A penny worth over $1 million is usually graded as mint state, which means it looks like it just came off the press. No scratches, no wear, no coffee stains. Thankfully, the market for these rare pennies is driven by collectors and investors who see these coins as tangible assets that could appreciate over time, especially as the US Mint stops making certain pennies or changes their composition. The copper pennies are getting rarer every year, which pushes the price up even more. And now, if you think about it, this penny has been hiding in plain sight for decades. Maybe in your couch cushions, your car cup holder, or your grandma's old coin jar. It's like a tiny treasure chest just waiting to be found. If you ever want to get started with coin collecting, my advice is simple: don't freak out if you find a penny that looks like every other penny. Take a picture, do some research, ask in online forums, or bring it to a local coin shop. Sometimes, the rarest finds come from the most unexpected places. And if you're like me, your first few attempts might involve almost throwing away $1 million penny, but hey, that's part of the fun. Alright, friends, That's the scoop on the incredible 1984 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. From mysterious minting quirks to spotting the telltale signs and learning the importance of condition, this coin is a shining example of how even the smallest things can hold massive value. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to keep getting tips on coins worth money, fun collecting stories, and strategies to grow your coin collection like a pro, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. We've got rare coins, crazy finds, and maybe even some of my coffee disasters to share. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep hunting those pennies, you never know when one might change your life. Catch you in the next video. Hey there coin fans and treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel where we dig deep into coins that can actually make your wallet smile and sometimes make you question if you've been casually tossing away millions in your couch cushions. Today, we're talking about a coin that's hiding in plain sight, the 2004 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds like just a regular penny, right? But hang on, this little guy's got a price tag that might just blow your mind, a whopping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.7 million. That's enough to make even Lincoln himself raise an eyebrow from his grave. So grab your magnifying glasses, dust off your coin jars, and let's jump into the wild world of this 2004 penny that's worth more than most cars out there. Oh, and stick around, I've got a funny personal story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth way more than my rent. Spoiler alert, it involves a pizza delivery and a very panicked phone call. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2004 Lincoln penny is pretty common in everyday life. You find these pennies everywhere. But the version without the mint mark, that's where the magic happens. You see, most coins have a tiny letter on them indicating where they were made, a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, and an S for San Francisco. But some coins, like the 2004 no-mint mark penny, are special because they don't have that letter at all. And that's not just a random accident, it's a minting error, and in the world of coin collectors, errors can be worth gold, or in this case, millions. Why? Because mint errors are super rare, and rarity is king in coin collecting. Imagine if you were making thousands of pennies every minute and accidentally misstamping a tiny letter. Well, that little slip-up suddenly makes your coin a superstar. And now, what makes this 2004 no-mint mark penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million? First off, extremely few of them exist. The Philadelphia Mint accidentally left out the mint mark on a small batch, making these pennies almost unicorns in the coin world. Collectors are always on the lookout for these gems because they're not just coins, they're pieces of minting history. Condition matters big time. If your penny looks like it survived a trip through a washing machine with last year's socks, it's not going to fetch millions. But if it's got that shiny, fresh from the mint look, you're holding something truly special. And now, let me tell you about the time I almost tossed a valuable coin into the trash. True story, I was at home, and I found a penny on the floor. I thought, hey, free money. I tossed it into the jar with my other change. Weeks later, I'm watching a video about rare pennies and realized the one I tossed might be a super rare 2004 no-mint mark penny. Panic mode activated. I start digging through the jar like a raccoon on a mission. Luckily, I found it before it was too late. Moral of the story, never underestimate the little guys in your pocket. They might just be hiding treasure. So, if you have a 2004 penny without any mint mark, grab a magnifying glass or get a professional to check it out. It could be worth way more than you think. Alright folks, if you found this deep dive into the 2004 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny fascinating, and I know you did, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're here every week with more tips, coin stories, and secret strategies to spot coins worth serious cash. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned collector, you'll want to stick around. And hey, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and drop a comment below telling me about the coolest coin you've ever found or almost lost to a pizza delivery pizza box. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes, those stories pay off big time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep those eyes sharp, those jars ready, and your sense of humor even sharper. Until next time, happy hunting, and may the luck of Lincoln be with you. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we turn pennies into potential gold mines. If you think pennies are just those annoying coins that weigh down your pocket and barely buy you a gum, Wait till you hear this. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2017 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's currently worth a whopping $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny from 2017 worth more than a luxury car or a small island vacation. Now before you start digging through your couch cushions or raiding your kid's piggy bank, stick around because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what makes this penny so special, how to spot one if you ever get lucky, and maybe just maybe, how to turn your loose change into a treasure trove. Spoiler alert, it's not just about luck, there's some cool science, history, and a sprinkle of collector magic involved, and oh, I'll also share a little story about how I almost threw away a coin that turned out to be worth way more than I ever imagined. So, if you're into coins, cool money stories, or just love hearing about how pennies can pack a punch, hit that like button and let's get into it. The 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Cents series, which has been around since 1909. You know Lincoln, the guy on the penny, the 16th president, and the reason we have a day off in February, sort of. The D-Mint mark means it was minted in Denver, one of the two main places the US makes pennies. Here's where the story gets juicy. This coin has a rare minting error, it's called a double die or double strike. Basically, during the manufacturing process, the coin was stamped twice, but slightly off, making the details on Lincoln's face and the words look doubled. Imagine if your face looked like it had a funhouse mirror effect. That's the kind of glitch collectors drool over now. You might be thinking, okay, cool, but how many of these are out there? The answer is very few. Like, super rare few. This rarity combined with Lincoln's iconic image and the recent minting date makes this penny highly sought after, and the value? Well, collectors, investors, and even some lucky folks who stumbled on one have paid big money, as in millions, to own this little piece of history. Okay, now let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, my buddy found a weird penny while paying for coffee. It looked odd, but he thought it was just dirty or maybe a prank coin. He tossed it in his drawer and forgot about it. Fast forward 2 years later, he shows it to a coin expert who instantly recognizes the double die error. That coin? Worth over $1 million. My friend? Well, he's definitely buying my coffee for life now. Moral of the story, never underestimate the power of a penny, and always check twice before tossing coins. First, check the mint mark. Look for a small D near the date on the front of the penny. Next, examine the details. The doubling effect is usually most visible around Lincoln's profile, the words Liberty, and the date itself. It might look like the coin's been stamped twice, or the letters look blurry and doubled. You can also use a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom feature to get a better look. If you think you found one, definitely get it authenticated by a professional before celebrating with that yacht purchase. Now, you're probably wondering, why would anyone pay $1.8 million for a penny? It's just a coin. Great question. This is where coin collecting goes from hobby to serious investment. Rare coins like this become part of private collections, museums, or are even auctioned off to collectors who want the ultimate prize. Just like rare baseball cards or limited edition sneakers, rarity drives value. And this penny? It's basically the Michael Jordan of coins. Also, the recent mint year means it's still in relatively good condition compared to older pennies, which adds to its appeal. Now, you might be thinking, how can I get into coin collecting or investing in coins? The key is to learn the basics, keep an eye out for rare errors, and always get your coins checked by experts. Don't rush or throw money at every shiny coin. Research is king, and that's why this channel is here to help you spot the winners and avoid the duds. Alright, folks, to wrap things up, the 2017 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is not just your everyday penny anymore. Thanks to its rare minting error, it's now a potential goldmine worth around $1.8 million. Whether you're a casual collector, an investor, or just someone who loves cool stories about money, this penny is a perfect example of how value can hide in plain sight. Remember my buddy's story? That random coffee penny that turned into a jackpot? That could be you. So next time you get some change, take a second look. You never know what treasure you might be holding. If you want more tips, stories, and guides about coins that could be worth big money, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join our community of coin enthusiasts. We've got plenty of awesome videos coming your way, from spotting errors to strategies for building a valuable coin collection. Thanks for hanging out today. Keep your eyes sharp, your pockets full of pennies, and who knows, maybe your next penny will be worth more than your car.